My name is Frank Bergola. I'm a retired New York City first-grade homicide detective in the police department from 1965 to 1969. I was in uniform in the 7-2 precinct in Park Slope, Brooklyn. I made that organized crime arrest, and they got pissed off at me, sent me to narcotics. They did me a favor.
Right.
Because I worked for 2 years in narcotics in Queens, and I became a detective. I was in a major case squad in 1983, and the chief of detectives assigned me to the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York to assist them in their RICO cases on organized crime. It was U.S. versus Castellano, U.S. versus the Westies, and U.S. versus the Commission. I assisted in all the murders that were involved with those three groups of people.
The main characters of the Westies.
The Westies, the main characters were Jimmy Coonan, he was the boss. Mickey Featherstone, who was his underboss. And they actually met with the Gambino crime family in 1978 and negotiated a deal where Castellano was going to take 10% of what they made in Manhattan because they were strictly involved, the Westies were strictly involved in the west side of Manhattan and the docks. Mickey Featherstone at that time was in jail for a murder, and he came to the U.S. Attorney's Office through his attorneys and said, listen, if you can clear me of this homicide, they didn't do it, I will cooperate with you and we'll put all these Westies in jail. So we wired Rikers Island, where he was being detained. That interview room was wired because Westies were visiting him and talking to him and giving him a lot of information on that murder. 69 to 72, drug was rampant. Heroin, marijuana, pills was rampant in the city. They had like these Avianca flights coming in from Colombia 3 or 4 times a week, and they would apprehend females with bodysuits on full of marijuana.
Jeez.
I think they would call me in the middle of the night. I'd jump on my car, run out to JFK Airport, park my car at the back of Customs, run inside, grab 3 or 4 of these girls, throw them in my car, and process them. I think I made 30 of these arrests and 130, 140 pounds of marijuana out of these bodysuits. The judge would deport them, take a guilty plea and deport them. Within a year, they were back. I was locking up the same girls.
Did they become informants, or would they just get deported?
They didn't talk to you.
Yeah, they didn't talk.
They were given instructions before they left.
Yeah, okay. So they were.
You were lucky you got their name and their date of birth when you were locking them up.
So they were more scared of the cartel than the police. Yeah, okay. Go into the DeMeo crew. We're an investigator on the Andre Katz murder.
First of all, my first assignment in homicide was the Son of Sam case. And we were to determine whether we had a serial killer or not, because he had hit one individual had hit in Queens and the Bronx 2 or 3 times already, and already I think there was news notes written and left, that were weird. So after a few weeks, we determined we had a serial killer, and they expanded that and sent 60 detectives into the 109 precinct for a year before he was arrested. But while I was in the 15th homicide, we were doing interviews of people who were making reports of people they thought was the Son of Sam.